Hello, wonderful women. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Nourish by Claudia. Today, I'm really very excited because I'm going to discuss 5 things that are definitely going to mess up your hormones. And very likely you're doing these things daily, and if not daily, possibly weekly. So I'm going to definitely dive into the topic right away. And if you stick until the end, I'm going to also give you a bonus tip. But before I go on, just make sure that you hit the subscribe button below. The more people that subscribes to my channel, the easier it's going to be for me to really understand what you would like to see, and the easier it's going to be for me to actually keep recording this video and give you free resources so that you can optimize your hormones, restore your periods, really support your fertility, and also calm down the anxiety level. So without further ado, let's go to tip number 1. So a very quick and surefire way to mess up your hormones is to skip meals. Skipping meals, and especially breakfast. I know that may have been in a situations where you think that intermittent fasting was a good idea, or maybe you come from a place of restriction or eating disorders. So sometimes skipping lunch when you feeling overly anxious can be part of your normal. But the reality is that your body is like a finely tuned machine, and it needs fuel to function optimally. And where can you get the fuel? From food. So when you skip meals, and especially breakfast, you're depriving your body of the essential nutrients it needs to maintain stable blood sugar levels. And not only that, and let me mention it to you that if you don't have stable blood sugar levels, you're going to feel more anxious, you're going to have problems in terms of falling asleep at night, you're going to feel that 3 p.m. or 11 a.m. crash, and you're going to be stuck in the bum and boost cycles where it's much easier to really burn out. So this roller coaster ride of blood sugar spike and crashes can disrupt your hormonal balance and can definitely throw your menstrual cycles out of whack. But that's not the end of it, because if you keep skipping meals, and especially breakfast, you're not gonna give your body the right amount of energy that it needs to function on a day-to-day basis. And I always think that breakfast is basically a way to set yourself up for success, especially if you're planning to get your period back, if you're planning to have regular pain-free cycles, if you would like also to lose some weight or to feel better within your body, or if you're working at getting your pregnancy, your fertility back on track. So wherever you are in your life, if you are between the age of 0 to the age of 50, I highly recommend you to definitely not skip any breakfast. And in general, for all your life, avoid skipping meals, because it's completely unnecessary and it's going to make you feel so much worse because of it. Step number 2 is relying on caffeine. That cup of coffee, right? I dream about that first sip of coffee in the morning. And I'm going to be the first one to say that caffeine can really give you a temporary boost, but relying on caffeine too heavily can really wreak havoc with your hormonal harmony. Simply because caffeine stimulates the production of stress hormones like cortisol, which can interfere with your body's delicate hormonal balance. So the more cortisol your body is going to produce, the less sex hormones are going to produce at the same time. If cortisol spikes at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not going to be able to produce enough testosterone and oxytocin for the next 6 hours. So let's say, for example, that you are having a fight in the afternoon in the office, you have a cup of coffee, and then you go back home and you are trying to conceive, or you're working so hard to get your period back. Chances are that your sex drive is going to be down in the dump, and you're not going to be able to really feel as vital, fertile as you would like to. Another thing that you may be doing quite consistently, especially if you're a woman, and that's also because we have been lied on for so many years, is sleeping less than 8 hours. So this new article has just come out after so many years of doing research, and they have demonstrated that normally we have been told to sleep between 7 and 8 hours because all the studies were done on men. The reality is that women actually need approximately 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night to function optimally. And it's also okay to get an extra hour if you're ovulating, or if you're trying to get pregnant, or if you're having your menstrual cycle. I know that it may be really hard for you to get so many hours in, especially if you have a job that you have to go to or if you have a family. So the best way that you can tackle this is to really start avoiding spending too much time on Netflix, on social medias at nighttime, and instead preferring to go to sleep. Maybe it could be part of your routine for this year to simply read a book just an hour before going to sleep and see if you can actually finish the chapter. Or if you feel quite sleepy, maybe it's time for you to simply switch off the light and go to sleep. And sometimes it can be 8 o'clock at night, 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock. It doesn't really matter. So find a routine that works for you and stick to it. And don't feel guilty if you actually need that extra sleep to feel as energetic as you would like to feel. So your body does some serious repair work while sleeping, and including hormonal regulation. So skimping on shut-eye deprives your body of this crucial downtime, and that can lead to imbalances in hormones like cortisol and insulin, which is why if you don't sleep enough at nighttime, you may feel very hungry the next day, or on the opposite side of the spectrum, you maybe feel quite nauseous. And in any way, you are possibly going to feel definitely more anxiety and more prone to stress. So what can you do today so that you can implement your sleep patterns? It's really hard to go from 6 hours of sleep to 10 hours of sleep. So I normally say just find a compromise. Maybe you can go from 6 hours of sleep to 6.5 hours of sleep for the first week, and then see if you can aim to get to 8 hours of sleep within the next couple of months. Another thing that it's really wreaking havoc with your hormones is definitely eating too many packaged foods and using plastic in general, especially when it comes to the fluids that you drink every day and the food that you drink every day. So processed and packaged foods are convenient, but they often come loaded with additives, preservatives, and other chemicals that can disrupt your body's natural hormonal production. I know that if you're in the process um, of recovering from an eating disorder and disorder habits, all foods are welcome. So don't get too stressed about which kind of foods you're having right now, because first and foremost, it's important for you to have that really nurturing, calm relationship with any type of food. But if you're at a stage in your life where you don't have any lingering behaviors or any lingering thoughts or guilt or shame around food, then I would definitely recommend you to take it to the next level and see if you can eat most of your food from planet Earth. So 80% of your foods coming from planet Earth, and then allowing that 20% coming from packaged foods. But if you wake up in the morning and you have something that come out of a plastic bottles, if you're having a snack such as a protein bar, and then when it's lunchtime, you have some chips, or you have a sandwich that has been wrapped up in plastic, and once again, you have another protein bar and maybe a yogurt in the afternoon, and then you get a takeaway at nighttime, then you will notice that the exposure to plastic and the exposure to packaged foods, it's really, I don't want to say out of control, but it's possibly not optimal to restore your hormonal balance. And that's also because plastic and packaged foods in general contains endocrine disrupting chemicals that are really working against the receptors in your bodies, especially when it comes to estrogen and progesterone. For example, plastic water bottles, they may seem harmless, but many of them contain chemicals like bisphenol A, which is the BPA, which everyone is aware of, but also the BPC, that it's normally not listed in the plastic bottle, that can leach into your water and mimic estrogen in your body. So a few things that you can avoid is definitely drinking from a plastic water bottle or filling up the plastic bottles that you have already used, using cling film or plastic wrapping to wrap your food before you place it in the fridge, reheating your food or your leftover on plastic containers in the microwave, or simply wrapping your foods in plastic and take them with you as a snack. So there are so many little things that you can do each and every day that can make a world of a difference when it comes to supporting your hormones. Another thing that I definitely need to mention is not managing anxiety. Stress is a silent killer. It's possibly the silent killer, right? Because we are all living in a society that makes us feel quite stressed. If you're constantly in fight or flight mode, and being on fight or flight mode, it doesn't mean that you're running away from a problem or from a tiger. It's also feeling anxious because of the things that you have to tackle on any given week. It's feeling anxious because you don't have enough support when you're raising your child. It's feeling anxious because your to-do list is never ending. So when you're in that fight or flight mode, your body prioritizes survival over reproduction, and that leads to disruption in your menstrual cycle. So you can manage your anxiety through relaxation techniques like meditation, deep breathing, journaling, and that can bring some harmony back into your life. But there are also other things that you can do, and that's normally what I do with my clients, is actually finding out the little tricks that helps you thrive in your current situation. So let's say, for example, that your to-do list is never ending. Let's aim to break it down. Let's aim to have three major tasks per day. And maybe in the beginning, if you're coming from a place of burnout or high anxiety, it may be only 2 tasks or 1 task per day. 2 enjoyable tasks that needs to be accomplished by the end of the day, and space for freedom, space for flexibility. And it's also changing the mindset that as a woman, you are meant to give every single day of the year, 24 out of 7 for 365 days. If you are a woman, chances are that you're going to go through a couple of months where you feel very productive, where you feel that you have so much energy to give, and then you will need to tap into that nurturing side of you, and you may need to go inside of yourself and to withdraw from society and exposure to social media until your batteries are recharged. Now that you got to this place of the video, I really would like to add the bonus tips that may be really playing up with your hormones, and that's definitely over exercising or exercising in a way that is not supportive of your hormonal balance, is not supportive of your life. So for some women, it's just running a marathon every week. For other women, it may also be walking for 40 minutes daily. And that's also something else that I do with my clients. I really work on their current situation. I see what the body is actually telling them and what the body needs, and we work in conjunction. Thanks for watching this video, and if you want to keep on going and keep understanding how you can support your hormones, just make sure that you watch the next video, which is going to be Elise story. And now she went from restrictions and overtraining and missing periods to have 6 natural cycles and to feel that she's thriving in life. Thank you so much for watching. I see you next time. Bye.